Hey guys, I am super excited today, man. I've been thinking about this Gap Mastermind all weekend. Hope you guys are excited for another Gap Mastermind where we focus on growth, action, and production. And we've got an all-star crowd today. So we're going to pin up Ben Kinney in just a second. And also let's get VJ pinned up too. It is going to be a rock star thing. If you guys are like me, you probably got your notepad out and you're looking for golden nuggets. They're going to help you build those last few months of the year and really focus on your production. So let's get, is BJ here? I don't see her on my screen.
Oh, you mean Via?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit terrible at pronouncing. So I'd like to introduce Via, who was here last week, and thank you for presenting last week. You were incredible. To introduce Ben and get this Gap Mastermind fire going. So it's your show.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me present last week. And if you thought it was great, it was because I was presenting Ben Kinney's material. And so, as you guys know, Ben got sick. I'm going to let him share details if he wants on that, but he got super sick. He always sees his commitments through. So for him to not be able to come, he's pretty sick. And so he is here this week for you. And Veronica asked me to introduce him. Now, normally I'd be a little more dressed up. I know how I look. I'm on vacation right now in West Virginia. So forgive the way I look, but I am going to introduce my friend and business partner, Ben Kinney, the best I can while in my hotel room. For those of you guys who don't know Ben, I've worked with him for about the last decade and I've worked for him for the last 4 years. He's incredible. When I first met him about 10 years ago, he had expansion teams throughout Western Washington, and he had like 3 or 4 real estate brokerages. Flash forward to today, he's got over 140 teams with his co-founder, Chris Suarez, in a company called Place, which is the largest real estate platform in the nation. Well, I'm sure you guys will learn more about Place. Well, hopefully that's my job. I'm head of industry. So if you don't learn more about Place, then I'm not doing my job. So hopefully in the next few months, you guys will learn more. You might have read that we got $1 billion valuation and 100 million in Series A funding late last year, which is just incredible and unheard of. What that means is that Ben and Chris bootstrapped this company and got it to a point that was such a high valuation before it even got investors. And all that really means to you is that he runs an incredible business, an incredible, profitable business. So anything Ben teaches you, he is literally living and breathing. It's really impressive. So with that, I don't want to waste any more of his time because I think every minute he can present to you is awesome. And there's my introduction, Ben Kinney. How'd I do?
You did amazing. I hate introductions. Hi, everybody. Wave at me. Everybody, thank you for all the people that are on camera. Everybody that's not on camera, you can officially kiss my butt because I would never show up to a meeting, Gil, with you with a sack over my head. And
I
Gil
hear
would
you.
never show up to a meeting with me with a sack over his head.
No way.
Awesome. Via, thank you for the introduction. Go enjoy vacation time with the family. I know you're going to have a blast in West Virginia. So, Gil, feel free to chime in at any point you want and ask questions or point me in a different direction. But if you don't want to do that, I can just ramble like an idiot until you tell me to stop.
Sounds good. We're going to let you go on, and I'll definitely have some questions along the way.
Gil, what time is my cutoff?
You've got 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Rebecca, Danny, Lisi, Ozzie, Liz, Patricia, Jeff Lobb, my friend, good to see you. Really excited to be here. So tell you a little bit about me, kind of the 2-minute kind of real story. Born and raised in Washington State, raised in a cabin without power. I had an outhouse. I was raised by my dad, just him and I. Cabin was under 300 square feet. Every other weekend I went to my mom's. My mom was a single wide trailer. We had lots of rats and fleas and that kind of stuff, and saw my first heroin overdose by 7 years old. We relived in the food bank quite a bit. So I know what being poor is actually like. And as I kind of got through my career, I decided that I wasn't going to be poor and that I was going to build a world where I had freedom. And that's ultimately my real definition of wealth is freedom, is the ability to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. Well, how did I do that? Well, I started off as a cable guy at nearly 19 years old, and I did that job to pay my way through college. And Gil, as I was installing cable, I ran into a guy who was dressed nicer than me and had a nicer car than me, but he had the same type of paperwork than me. And I said, "Hey, what do you do?" And he said, "I install cable, but I also sell it." And just by looking at him, like, this dude makes way more money than me. So I said,
What's up?
"How do I do that?" He pointed me in the right direction, and I found his boss, and I got a job
What else do we need?
selling cable TV door to door. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this bullshit with all of you guys. I got to sell cable TV by knocking on everybody's door, trying to convince them to switch their phone to internet or cable service over. And I probably knocked 40,000 doors in my life. And at a certain point, I realized that I could call more people than I could actually door knock. So I started telemarketing. So before on my very first day in real estate, I'd probably cold called a couple 100,000 times in my life. So I've got more FUs and no's than most people get throughout their entire career. I just got it out of the way. And when I started in real estate, it was the greatest gift that I could imagine. So I want to start today off with explaining what I call my 3 real estate success principles. And if you're kind, I would appreciate you take notes. If you're not, just like move your hand a little bit and you can pretend like you're taking notes, and that'll just flatter me a whole lot, you know. Number 1, the first real estate success principle: say the right things. I learned really early in my career that if I said the right things, I would be successful. If I said the right things. Now, that, if you were to just summarize that down, that's a scripts issue. Well, some of you are thinking, I don't like scripts. I'm not a very scripted person. Well, you've obviously never had a successful relationship in your life, because if anybody's had a successful relationship, you've learned the scripts, yes, dear, or whatever you want, or you're right, or I'm sorry, right? And that's all scripts are. There are words that work. They are words that work, that allows you to say less and get more results. And who wouldn't want that? Let me give you a couple of examples. If somebody comes into your open house, do you say, "Hey, go ahead, look around, look through the jewelry drawer, grab some underwear, grab some bills, take whatever you want, and don't forget a cookie on your way out"? Or when somebody walks in, Patricia, do you reach your hand out and you say, "Hi, thanks for coming to my open house today"? You know what? People have been coming into this open house for 1 or 2 reasons. 1, they're curious what their own home is worth because they're thinking about selling. Or 2, they're thinking about buying. Which one are you? Now, I love listings. So if I could come up with a script, Ozzie, I'm going to start with asking about if they have a home to sell. Because I learned this secret really early in my career. Everybody get ready to write down this mind-blowing stat. You guys are not going to believe this. Most people live somewhere. Boom! Freaking blows your mind all of a sudden. You're like, what? Once I truly understood that most people live somewhere, I understood that the vast majority of people that call on my signs, register on my websites, or come into my open houses also have a home to sell. So why not ask for that first? When you're reaching out to your friends and family, do you use one of those cheesy Brian Buffini scripts, but you can't pull it off because you don't have that like Irish accent, you know, like, "Oh, by the way, who do you know that I should know that might be interested in?" I'd like hang up the phone. I'm like, "Who is this cheese ball? I'm not talking to this person." So what's my script, Susan? It's very simple. Just out of curiosity, do you have any real estate related plans for the year? Just out of curiosity, do you have any real estate related plans for the year? And I ask everybody that. My landscaper, people I meet walking my dog, my sphere, people I run into the elevator. Asked it to a guy the other day who's standing next to me in a urinal. I don't care. I'm a lead generator. I'll ask anybody at any time, just out of curiosity. Do you have any real estate related plans for the year? Well, here's my point. If you become really great at using words, you can have very impactful conversations that lead you to relationships that'll benefit you years and years and years and years into the future. That's the first real estate success principle. Number two, Gil, is say it enough times. Say it enough times. If you were to summarize that down into one word, that would be activity. How much activity are you willing to do to be successful? What is the commitment, Victor, that you're going to make every single day to put yourself into the path of productivity? How much activity? If I was to bring on somebody to my team, I'll share with you what our activities are. Number one, we all show up on day one with 200 people in our sphere into a spreadsheet that we can import into our CRM. We use Brivity. I created and built Brivity, so there's a reason for that. 200 people into your sphere. So the first activity we always do is we follow up with our sphere at least once a month. Number two, everybody on our sales team are required to do a minimum of 2 open houses. That is, Athena, that's getting belly to belly with individuals every single week. Now, we don't do lazy open houses. We tend to door knock around those open houses, or we tend to circle prospect around those open houses. And while we're there, we don't just sit there reading Cosmo and GQ or whatever people read in magazines. We're also lead generating while we're waiting for people to show up. The third activity that everybody on our team does is we make a commitment to reach out to 150 people every single day, circle prospecting, canceled expireds, FISBOs, past leads, any of that, 150 dials every day. Now, if you do those 3 things, you work your sphere, you do 2 open houses a week, and you circle prospect or cold call 150 people a day with a dialer using something like Mojo, it'll take you about an hour, hour and a half to dial 150 people. It's really quick. We can guarantee you'll do a minimum of 2 transactions per month. But over time, as you plant those seeds in the spring, you get to harvest the crops in the fall. So my first full year in real estate, doing pretty close to those activities, I did 26 transactions. Wasn't rookie of the year. I wasn't the greatest agent that ever came, but it was good for me. But the second year, I did 84. And it wasn't because in the second year I worked any harder. I worked smarter. I got my scripts better. But it is because all the activities, Raphael and Olga, that I did the year prior that compounded into results the second year. So you don't have to do my activities that I'm recommending, but you do have to make a commitment to do a certain amount. And if that isn't getting the results you want, you have 2 choices. One, go look for a job, Best Buy, title reps, those sort of things. Or 2, do more activities. At the end of the day, my activity was tied to one outcome. Everybody, 1 appointment every day, a minimum of 5 days a week with 1 person who I hadn't met before that was willing to talk about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 1 person who I hadn't met before who was willing to sit down with me face to face and talk about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And if I did that 5 times in a week, I knew I would hit my goal. If I got to Saturday and I'd only met with 3 people, I would work Saturday and Sunday. If I got to Thursday and I had already gotten my goal, I might take it Friday off and go do something fun with somebody I cared about. The third real estate success principle, have enough people to say it to. You guys notice that I take notes for myself whenever I talk. It keeps me on track. It's just how I do it, right? Just kind of keeps my mind going in the right order. Have enough people to say it to. That is a leads issue. Where are you going to get your business? Now, behind me, you see one, I have a polar bear because we have the same metabolism and the same ability to tan. And also I have a bar stool. And the bar stool has 4 legs. And Victor, it's stable, can hold a medium husky guy like me up pretty good because it's got 4 stable legs. Now, if I took away a leg, it would be less stable. If I took away another leg, I'd probably end up falling on my butt. But if I added an additional leg, it would feel even stronger. That's what I want. I want 5 legs to my buyer stool, and I want 5 legs to my seller stool. What does that mean? I want 5 sources of buyers that I can count on this year and 5 sources of sellers that I can count on. Then if any one of those areas struggle because the market changes or the internet changes or whatever these things might be, I'm still going to be okay. So the next question I would ask you is, what are your 5 sources of buyers and what are your 5 sources of sellers? Let me give you an example. For buyers, it might be Sphere. It might be open houses. It might be internet leads. It might be sign calls, but only if you have signs up and you have listings. What's your 4th one? It might be first-time home buyer seminars. It might be door knocking. It might be relocation business. You guys could probably think of some other ones. Put some other buyer ideas into the chat for me, and you can help me out here so I don't look like such an idiot. So embarrassing. For sellers, what could that be? It could also be Sphere. Could be canceled expireds. It could be FSBOs. It could be notice of defaults or notice of trustee sales. It could be bank-owned REO foreclosures. It could be geographic farming. It could be builders, right? There's a circle prospecting. There's a variety of ways to get these. What I'm asking for all of you to do is pick 5 sources of buyers and 5 sources of sellers, and then add those things onto your calendar that you do every single week. So those are the 3 real estate success principles. If you want to be super successful in real estate, 1, you got to know what to say and you got to become great at saying it. 2, you got to do enough activity. And James, you got to make a commitment to doing that activity on a regular basis. And 3, you got to have enough leads. Particularly, you want 5 sources of buyers and 5 sources of sellers. Now, I said there's 3 real estate success principles because I believe there is, and those 3 real estate success principles should get you to closing 24 to 48 or 24 to 75 transactions in a year. But there's actually a 4th real estate success principle if you earn the right by doing the first 3. So the 4th one is have enough people saying it. Have enough people saying it. What that is you're going to move from being a real estate agent to being a business owner by building your own team or building a team within your team. That means you're going to get a showing agent, or you're going to get a buyer's agent, or you're going to get an admin, or you're going to get a listing agent. You're going to get a piece of leverage so that you can take your business to the next level. So the last word is leverage. But you don't get leverage if you don't earn it by doing enough business. So I'd ask you all to think about, of these 4 real estate success principles, what is the area that you need to focus on first? And then what's the next area? Go into chat for me real quick. That's how I know that you're all paying attention today. Go into chat and just tell me, if you could fix one area in your business right now, would it be scripts? Would it be activity? Would it be leads? Or would it be leverage? I see the luckiest craps dice thrower of my life on the screen today. Good to see you.
Ben, I really looked forward to hearing your message. And I agree with a lot of your principles. I love your style of just be curious, right? And I've always said curious people make more money. Just find out where people are right now in their life and where they want to be. But I love the intentional question of you're asking, are you a buyer or you're a seller at the open house? Like, there's 2 types of people who are coming to my house. There are people who are looking to find out the value of their home, which would be sellers. And there are people who are looking to buy a home, right? And once you can qualify every single person as a lead, nobody has a lead problem, right? So, but if I had to choose one of those 4, and I'm kind of a hard ass, so I always kind of realize when people come in to become a self-employed entrepreneur, no matter what they're in, they tend to come in either fired up or lazy. And they think that, and I feel like activity fixes everything. It'll help your scripts. You'll get better at a script. In fact, I tell people all the time, when I first started, I used to hang up on myself. I was terrible, but I made so many calls. I was like, well, I'm not doing that again. That worked. I'm going to do that. I think activity is the purest way to get better, right? And just to audit where you are right now in your business, and then make a condition on yourself. I'm going to do more tomorrow, right? So talk to me about those people who are struggling to put 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Like I struggle to see people make 4-hour days, right? I go look at, I tell people, it's like, where are you at in your business right now? Well, things aren't working out the way I thought it was going to be. So, well, tell me what you did yesterday. And I can't count 2, 3, 4 hours worth of dollar productive activities in their schedule to be able to get the results that they want. So let's talk deeper on the activity portion. How do you get your coaching client to do more?
Awesome. By the way, that was really funny when you said I used to hang up on myself. I've never heard that, and that cracked me up. So thank you for that. I'm going to steal it. That was very good. Here's a question. Everybody, let's just pay attention to me. Just listen for 1 second. Being really honest with yourself, just being 100% transparent. What percentage of your potential are you living up to on a daily basis? Now, before you type it into chat, and I want everybody to type it in chat, I want you to be real honest. I want you to be real honest. What percentage of your potential are you living up to every single day? Okay. Everybody now go into chat real quick. Just everybody just be honest. 10, 25, 30, 14, 15, 12.5, maybe 13, 50, 60, 12, 30, 20, 70, 60, 15, 25, 25, 3, 50, 75, 20, 20, 20, 20, 40, 40. Okay, you guys get the gist? We're leaving a lot on the table. Even the smartest people in the room today that are the most successful, and there's some really successful people here, I recognize the names, are still typing in things like 50% or 60% or 70%. The best of the best are doing that. I think I'm living up to 50% of my potential, and most people would probably say that I kill it compared to them. But let's not leave that much potential on the table. One of the questions that I wrote down earlier in my career was very simple. Am I, me, being the person that my dreams require? I have big dreams. There's lots of things I want to do in my life, but am I being the person that's going to be able to take advantage of that or not? Here's another way to put that, Gil. If we pick somebody that we love and somebody that we care about, and we had them follow us around for a day, and they didn't say a word, but they just stood behind us and took notes all day, at the end of the day, would they be impressed or would they be depressed? Would they be like, hey, my dad works for Cabela's, or my parents work for YouTube or Facebook or Nordstrom, because that appeared to be what website they spent their time on the entire day? Like, would they be impressed or would they be depressed? Now, how do you go into chat? Somebody answer this correctly. How do you eat an elephant? Chat. Okay, somebody said one bite at a time. Actually, I can tell that none of you have had elephant. If you did, you would say Tabasco, because I can't imagine it tastes very good at all. Like they step in poop, like it just sounds horrible. So if you're going to eat an elephant, please use Tabasco. No, small incremental changes. I would never eat an elephant. Let's just get that straight, Athena. Like I'm a huge elephant fan. Corinne, I'm not going to eat an elephant. That was just a joke. Just I want you guys to know that. Okay. Small incremental changes done consistently over time lead to massive results. If you aren't calling anybody right now, make me a promise for the next 5 days, you're going to have 5 great conversations every day. If you're calling 50 people a day right now and you aren't getting the results you want, make a commitment that you're going to do a little bit more, just for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or for 30 days. Just do a little bit more. But at the end of the day, here's what I coach my people to do, Gil. Give me 1 hour every single day where you're 100% focused on the one thing that would change your business the most. That might be working your sphere. That might be prospecting. It might be converting leads. It might be recruiting agents. You got to decide. But 1 hour, uninterrupted, done consistently. I'm not super good at math, so let's look at that. So 1 times 5, that's 5 days in a week. Okay. 1 times 5 times 52 weeks. That's 260 hours divided by 40 hours. Did I do that right? 5 times 52, 260 divided by 40. It's 6.5. How much more successful do you think you would be if you worked 6.5 full 40-hour weeks at the end of this year? And the only thing you would have to do is commit to 1 hour every single day of doing the most important thing that you know you should be doing, that probably involve one of these 4 real estate success principles. By the way, the same thing happens with health. How much healthier do you think you'd be if you walked and worked out for 6.5 full weeks of exercise? 1 hour done consistently will change your life. 1 hour with your spouse or your honey bunny, 1 hour exercising, 1 hour lead generating, 1 hour being the best parent you could imagine. Like 1 hour of 100% focus will change your life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with a good 15 minutes here and there, where they just shut everything down and say, hey, what's the biggest dollar productive activity I could do today that will move my business? You know, people always wonder how it is when you're about to go on vacation and all of a sudden there's a flurry of business, or they make all the right calls and everything seems to be going their way. And what you're really doing is crunching a priority list, right? You're saying, okay, before I leave these, I must do these things. And you're able to do that once or twice a year just before you go on vacation. But if you led a life where you're taking more vacations, your business would actually go up. I think for some of you guys, you need to find that spot where you can do that consistently and build a priority list that you're going to execute, that's going to move your business so you can take some time for your family, right? You're robbing your business time to give your family. And I totally understand why you're trying to do that, right? But it's got to be on a better equilibrium. Work harder so you can earn the right, which you mentioned earlier, earning that right to build a business along the way where you can start leveraging, right? And I think it's so easy for you to pull out a credit card and just hire a TC, or pull out a credit card and leverage this and leverage that and leverage that without picking up the weight. Imagine going to the gym and trying to leverage the weights by hiring 2 big guys to lift the weights for you. It's not going to work. You got to put in the work, right? And if you want to hire somebody to actually put the more weight on for you, so you don't have to get off on the bench, so you can be more effective and more efficient in your workout, that might be something. But you can't have anybody do the work for you if you don't understand the work. We got to put the time in, and you got to ask yourself, am I tired because I am just wasted, exhausted? How many of you guys are actually doing, unique clients? Like 5, you talked about doing 1 unique client per day, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that you're chasing the same client you've been chasing for 3 weeks and they just happen to be on your calendar every freaking day because you haven't got the job done, right? So it's about getting a unique client, somebody that you haven't shown a home to, somebody that you haven't been in their living room, somebody you haven't engaged and found out their why every single day. And you do that by doing one of the ways that Ben talked about, was by prospecting. And you can choose whatever way you want to prospect. You want to prospect by calling cold calls. I love that you move from door knocking to just making the phone call, and you realize, well, this works better, right? This frees me up more time, right? Because I can call more people and get to the point faster with better and fine-tuned questions, right? But like, what's holding you back? I mean, there's only a few weeks left this year. You came into the year thinking to yourself, this is going to be my year, right? Well, you got time to prove that. And you got to take some action, right? Maybe it's an hour more, 2 hours more, 3 hours more. For some of you, it needs to be a whole 8 hours, because yesterday you spent the day playing. And today, this might be the most productive thing you've done so far, right? So putting in that ritual of making some calls, doing something that's going to feed your business and hold yourself accountable. How do you know you won? Because you got yourself 1 more unique client on your calendar. That's the way you win. And then what's happened is, as you got better, if you listen to Ben Kinney's story, guess what? He did 26 in his first year, did 80 something in the second year because his skills got better. He didn't have to work harder. So, Ben, I want to ask you this question, and I love to ask this question to people like yourself. It's like, who influences you? Who do you follow that kind of inspires you?
Oh man, I love that question. I want to give you a kind of a real honest answer. We tend to put people on pedestals as we grow in ourselves as a human, or ourselves in business or in relationships. But you want to be real careful. And I want to tell you all the story of my uncle. My uncle was a Air Force jet pilot. And growing up as a little kid, like, how cool is it to have an uncle that flew jets in the Air Force? Like, it was badass. And when he came over to my house, he had the convertible, the ones with the T-tops that would pop off, and then he would drive when my mom wasn't around, and he would drive me, and we'd do like 80 or 100 miles an hour. And he was the cool uncle, right? And I had my uncle on the super big pedestal. But as I got older and older, I started noticing a few things, Louise. By the way, Louise, that's the same name as my mom. And I love that name. And my grandma's name was also Louise. So you have a special place in my heart. As I got older, I noticed my uncle had a different girl every time I saw him. The dude's been married more times than I've seen, and he had kids with more women than I can imagine. But he was still always kind and nice to me. As I got older, I noticed that he was kind of an alcoholic, and he bounced from job to job. And as I got older, I realized that he was dishonorably discharged from the military for smuggling marijuana in one of those jets. And as I got older, I think about the first step, pedestal, realizing he was probably not a great husband or not a great dad, and other areas of his life. But now as I get older and older, Gil, as I think about my uncle, he's always been kind to me. When I needed something, he would always show up. If I'd had to move or needed help, or my car was broken, if I needed something, I could call him. So is my uncle a good guy? Is my uncle a bad guy? Should it be on a pedestal? And what I realized, he's my uncle, and I love him, and he's a flawed human. And I'm glad that he probably wasn't my dad, and I'm glad that a lot of things, but he was a good uncle to me. So in answer to your question, Gil, I tend to find people in each area of my life that I can put on a pedestal, but rarely do they sit in two different areas. Give you an example. Tom Wheelwright, who's become a personal coach and mentor to me, is one of the nation's leading expert on taxes. And he's become a mentor and a coach and a friend to me. In fact, I probably have, I have his brand new book, Win-Win Wealth Strategy, The 7 Investments the Government's Pay You to Make. I highly recommend that book. But this book right here changed my life. It's called Tax-Free Wealth. Tax-Free Wealth. So I put Tom on a pedestal when it comes to estate planning, investing, and taxes. But then I got to go out there and I got to find somebody else for health. And I have quite a few healthy people in my life that are so much more healthy than me that I can put on a pedestal for that. And then I have some friends out there that are amazing real estate agents, better real estate agents than I've ever been, and I'll put them on a pedestal. And I know some great, amazing leaders of people, but they're probably shitty husbands or shitty wives or whatever that might be. So I can't put them on a pedestal for personal relationships. But I have an old couple, they're named Ray and Gert. And Ray and Gert, I went to their 60th wedding anniversary. And when I went to their anniversary, I went up to Ray and Gert and I said, "So what's the secret to staying married?" And they looked me in the eye, Christy, and they said, "Neither one of us gave up at the same time." Neither one of us gave up at the same time. So I put them on a pedestal when it comes to having a healthy, amazing relationship that lasts for a really long time. And I have a couple friends that have unwavering faith. Like they aren't just like the people that put Bible quotes on Facebook, but like they are just faith-driven people, and they are unwavering no matter cancer or whatever happens in their life. They just have unwavering faith, and I envy that because I haven't always had that. So I put them on a pedestal when it comes to faith. So my answer for Dylan and Eric and Michael and Elizabeth and Josh and iPhone 3 is that don't put people on pedestals. Find people that can influence you in specific areas. And when you can't find them in a book. You never know, over time, you actually might end up making these people your friends. Like I forced Tom to be my friend. So
good stuff. Good stuff. I always say there's magic in everybody, right? But if you have to look for their magic, you got to look for the kindness someone has. You have to look for the wisdom that someone has. You have to look for the peace that they can got. Everybody was put on this planet to be able to help each other. It's part of the community. So I appreciate you being part of our community today, and appreciate you sharing your wisdom and your points. And I think that this message will be repeated over and over, Ben. I really want to, like this guy up in the chat, let him know how much we appreciate him. I think that you were a great story of what someone can do when they make a decision, right? And anyone can make that decision at any given time. Today, you can make that decision to change your activity, to change your the people that are in your database, to change how much work you put into the business. So I'd like to introduce Carlos German, who has the honor of introducing Ozzie and his amazing story. And again, thank you very much, Ben, for sharing with us today.
Anytime, everybody. Cheers. Appreciate the time. Reach out if I can ever do anything.
Man, guys, that was absolute fire. I don't know if you guys have miles and miles of notes. I have my notepad on the computer here, and it's like flowing. It was kind of like a bending reality kind of session when you're not only talking about, the basics, but also the heart, what's inside you. And that's the kind of stuff that can change your life, the different pillars. I personally never looked at it that way. So I'm thankful for you, Ben, for bringing that forth. Hey, I might be great at learning from this person for one pillar, but not for every pillar. So that is absolutely amazing. And I have the honor of introducing one of our dear partners who is absolutely someone that embodies these principles, that embodies the growth, the action, the productivity. He did 180 transactions last year with a team of 9. Also bought 47 investment properties. He's someone that is always hustling, always growing, has a massive organization. He's someone that always brings the fire, the energy, the heart to everything he does. It is an honor for me to bring you Ozzie Ramirez. Where are you, Ozzie?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. Let me find you and make sure everybody can see you. There you are. All right.
So first off, man, if Ben wanted to keep talking, I would just, I would shut up and let Ben keep talking. I don't even need to speak. Just love listening to him. One of the biggest things for me about Ben is, man, he comes from a struggle, man. And I love gritty people. I love people who are used to getting our ass kicked and keep on coming back for more. It's what I really relate to. So Ben's always been one of those guys for me. There's a lot of people in this industry that I don't feel like I have a lot of connection with, but Ben's one of those people. It's like, he's gritty and I understand that. So, I'm Carlos, Gil, you guys, like, whatever you want to hit me with. I have some topics I want to cover. If you guys want a direction, you want me to take this in, I'm all up for it. Let me know.
Show, man. I'm sure we'll hit you with some questions.
Yeah, let's just start with some of your principles on what to say and what not, and scripting, which is what we told everybody the topic was, and then we'll hit some questions on the back end.
Perfect. So here's the deal. I like to start with this part. Number one, I could teach you the how, the what, the where, like all the tools, all that stuff. Truth be told, most of you won't do crap with it. Oh, that's painful. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest with you. Most of you aren't going to do anything with it. However, in that same breath, before you totally light me on fire, I want you guys to know the reason why I say that is because I know there's plenty of you here that think I'm the one, I'm the next one, I'm going to be the next big Ben Kinney, I'm going to build the next big team, I'm going to give my family that life. And I want to take that number up a notch. I want more of you to begin believing in yourself and saying, I'm the one, I'm going to make this happen. And that's really important to me. And with that being said, we talk about scripts, we talk about sales and all that stuff. I got to tell you, the biggest battle isn't so much the scripts and what to say. It's believing in yourself and having the right mentality. So you step out there and you actually make crap happen. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I want to cover is college versus business owner. Guys, this world has told us that we have to go to get a degree. Now, I'm not going to knock anyone who has a degree. Fantastic. Kudos to you. That's fantastic. However, if we want to look at the real estate world compared to like the college world, I know for me, coming out of high school, they said, you need to go to college, get a 4-year degree, get your bachelor's, all this stuff. I wasn't that guy. In 5th grade, I started making C's. My brothers were so much more book smart than me. I felt like a loser coming out of high school, like a complete loser, because I felt like college really wasn't my place. Now, what everybody teaches you is go get a 4-year degree. You're gonna pay for the school, right? So you're gonna go there, you're gonna be in a class, you're gonna be paying for it. More than likely, you're gonna run up a fat bill, couple $100,000 maybe. I don't know. It depends on what school you're going to. So they're telling you, you're going to go 4 years. You're going to rack up a bill, get in debt, or maybe pay a whole lot of money, or maybe your parents are rich. I don't know. Then you get out, then you go work a decent job, and you still build your way up. And then some of you guys get into real estate like me. And we got to think about it a little bit differently. But most people get into real estate and they think, I'm going to get rich quick. I'm going to start making money immediately. This is all going to work out perfectly. Why don't we think about entrepreneurism? Why don't we think about running a business like we think about the college world? You're going to be in this for 4 years. You're probably going to lose your ass. Sorry, I said that. You're probably going to lose your butt. You're probably going to maybe get in debt. Maybe you're going to run into problems. All those different things could possibly happen. But if you have the fortitude and you have the tenacity to stick it out for 4 years, you can be, I can almost guarantee 10 times more successful than you could be and where you went and going and getting that degree and things like that. Not knocking a degree, but let's start thinking about this business and being an entrepreneur, just like you would college. That's the first game-changing mentality I would ask you to adopt. The other one is this. Most of you, before you got into real estate, you worked for these huge companies. You worked for Fortune 500 companies, or maybe you, I don't know. I worked at restaurants, right? And I remember the proudest thing I did there was I worked 80 hours a week for an entire year, never took a day off. And I was so proud. I hold the record at that company. I actually worked 92 hours in 1 week. I was 21 years old and I had to do it because I had a baby on the way. Most of you are willing to do that type of thing in those businesses. If you want to turn your camera on, whatever it is, raise your hand if you worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week for a company that you did not own. Yeah. And then most of us, they do that. And then we get into real estate and I hear the same common theme. I want freedom, freedom of time, freedom of money, all this stuff. Great. Why are you willing to kill yourself for a company that will replace you in a heartbeat and don't give a crap about you? And then you step in the real estate world and you won't even do a full 50, 60-hour week. You don't put in the hours, you don't put in the work, you aren't dedicated, you'll kill yourself for a company that don't care for you, and then you won't do it for yourself. So fix that part of your mentality and say, I'm going to do more for me than I ever did for the companies that didn't care about me. Those are mentality things. Now let's get into scripts, because this is the meat of what I'm here for, right? Ben Kinney said it. Probably couldn't say it any better, but I'm going to throw my spin on it. Whether you like it or not, you use scripts. Oh, that hurts, Ozzie. No, it's true. You use scripts. I don't care what you think. You use scripts. Think about it. The original script, what you learned in grade school, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then I learned my script this way, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, right? That was my script. It was fantastic. Eventually what I did is I put all those letters together and they became words. Somebody taught me those words. They weren't my words. I didn't create them. Then if I took those words and I packaged them in phrases, they became sentences and paragraphs where I could communicate effectively with human beings. You get where I'm going with this? You use scripts whether you like it or not. So you might as well adopt the best scripts and you might as well put them to work for you, because there's somebody that's gone ahead of you that's done it better. They're more effective, and you can adopt those, put them to work, and make your life so much easier if you choose to understand that. So stop with, well, I don't want to sound like a robot. I don't want to sound canned. Quit all that crap. Because right now, I mean, you got to think about it. You don't say the words and the phrases and the alphabet the same way you were taught whenever you were a kid. You say them completely different now because you've mastered them. Get it? Master the scripts. Eventually, once you've mastered the scripts, then you may end up earning the right to actually get creative and change those scripts. But until you've mastered them, you don't have the authority. Just like you don't have the authority to change the alphabet. Ouch. So now here's the next part. I often run into people and they say, Ozzie, I don't want to get on the phones because I've called my sphere of influence. I don't want to bother for sub owners. I don't want to bother my family anymore. I'm gonna break your mind and possibly break your heart here. You ready? Here's the deal. Your value is not found in your real estate knowledge. Let's get that straight. So when Ben Kinney first got in this business, he may have known about cable and selling all that stuff. That's fantastic. He didn't know crap about real estate. And if he did, he knew very little. Eventually, in time, he became what we see today, which is probably a master of the art of real estate. Even now, he's willing to admit he's not the best. There are people better than him. Okay. So with that being said, if we look at the way that's all set up, I want you to think right now, every single one of you, and I know you have a person, think about it. Who in this world do you love with all your heart? Who in this world, maybe write down their name on a piece of paper. Who would you be willing to die for? I know we always got those people, right? I just love my wife. I love my kids. So now you'd have the name of the person who you like would die for and you love. If they called you every day, would it bother you? I hope you say no, it wouldn't bother me at all. If it would bother you, you got to rethink that relationship. But most of you say, if my wife called me every day, it will not bother me. If my kids call me every day, I wish my daughter in college, she would call me every day, right? It wouldn't bother you. But hold on, let's think about that. If it wouldn't bother you and they call you every day, but they don't know crap about real estate, I'm pretty sure they don't know anything about real estate. My wife doesn't know very much about real estate. My kids don't know about real estate, but if they called me every day, it wouldn't bother me. So think about that. Your value is not found in whether or not you know a ton about real estate or nothing or whatever. Your value is found in the relationship, which is more than likely built on love. It's built on caring, right? So here's the deal. Do not get on the phones thinking that I'm going to get this. That's fine. I got muted real quick. I'm back up. Don't get on the phones thinking I'm going to bother people. Don't get on the phones thinking, oh, I don't have enough real estate knowledge to help these people. Get on the phones with one thing. I care about this person. I want what's best for them. I'm showing up to serve this person and give them as much value as I possibly can as a human being. When you open your mind like that and you stop thinking strictly about real estate and you think about helping a human being, the game completely changes. And you can probably get over this fear that you've created in your mind that they don't want to hear from me, I'm bothering them, all those other things that come up. Gil, what you got?
Yeah, Ozzie. So I love that. So the reason why most people don't want to make a call is because they don't have anything interesting to say, which is the worst thing you can even think about. Who cares if you have interesting things to say? The only thing that really matters in that conversation, are you interested in the person you're talking to? And they're going to know that right away, right? So Ozzie, I think everybody wants to know is let's just do this. Let's start a phone call, right? So let's just say I'm one of your people that you're following up on, and let's just do a ring together. Just talk to me like you just called me out of the blue. And let's just take some notes from like what that call sounds like, if you don't mind.
Okay, are you SOI, are you FSBO, are you expire? Like set the premise for me real quick and then we'll roll.
All right, so somebody put in the chat, what do you want me to be?
I love this.
Oh,
FSBO, Sphere, FSBO, expired.
All right, let's just do 3 quick openings, right? Let's get the conversation started. And we'll start the first one. I'm a Sphere. I'm somebody you've sold before, somebody that you've just known for a few years. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So I'm
ring. Hello.
Hey, Gil, what's up, man? What have you been up to?
Dude, just working on paying some bills, man. What's going on?
Man, sounds just like my life, man. So how's everything with the wife, the kids, everything else, everything rolling for you?
Bro, the kids are at school, so I can breathe. I'm pretty happy about that.
Man, so to be honest with you, man, the reason why I'm calling you, I love checking in on you. I really haven't reached out to you as much as I should. I feel really bad about that. I want to have a better relationship with you. So with that being said, man, is there anything that I can do to show up for you today and your family and bring you some value? What would that look like?
Oh man, dude, listen, I think about you all the time, man. But actually, you know what? I need a contractor. You know a contractor for? I gotta get some plumbing done.
Well, I got plenty. Okay, so plumbing contractor.
Yeah, I got just
perfect
stuff in my bathroom.
Here's what I'm going to do. As soon as we get off, I'm actually going to text you 2 of my favorite plumbers. They've taken care of me and my people on different investments. And if it doesn't go right with them or whatever, I've got several others, but these are the people that for me have been tried and true over the years. I'll shoot that over to you. Cool.
Good stuff. I'm expired. I'm an expired listing. Just went, I guess expired a couple of days ago. You give me a call. I mean, I don't know when you call expired. So I'm expired.
Ring.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Hello.
Yeah. Is this Gil?
Yeah. Who's calling?
Hey, Gil, this is Ozzie Ramirez with the AskOzzie.com real estate team. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to bother you. I know you've probably got a lot of phone calls. I just want to ask you real quick. I saw that your house expired. Are you still interested in selling that, or did you fully take it off the market? What's going on there?
Yeah, I was invested to sell the house the first time, but it didn't happen.
Okay. So you said you were investing to sell the house for, I'm seeing you had it on the market about 4 months now. So take me back, man. 4 months ago when you signed the contract to put it on the market, why were you so excited? Like, what was that feeling like?
Look, bro, like I wanted to sell my house, but I'm getting freaking 50 calls. Do you have a buyer you can bring me? Because I just want to, if you got a buyer for me, I'll let you come over.
I heard 2 things. You want to sell your house and you want agents to stop calling.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. If I could show you a better way to get these agents to stop calling and to get your property sold in the price you like and a timeline you would enjoy, would you meet with me and just have a conversation so I could show you a better way?
Maybe talk to me more about that, because like I don't want to just have you come over and
So
try to trick me into
first
listing.
off, number one, I really want to meet with you. I want to check out the house. I want to look at the best way to price it, look at the condition, look at a way that I can market and get you sold. But before we get into that, let me ask you a question real quick. What are the 3 things you believe your agent could have done better to get it sold last time?
He could have worked. Like I think he just didn't want to open house on it.
Okay.
By the way, so okay, great. So that was great. I love the fact that you went straight to like, that's probably the best question you can ask somebody. Like get that person to talk. And the number one thing people will talk about is what they were displeased about, right?
Yeah.
It takes the energy off of them. So an expired call is always what I'm trying to get to, is like, hey, do you just curious? What do you think? I guess, by the way, I looked up your listing. I 100% know why your house didn't sell. I was like, just curious. Do you know why your house didn't sell? Right?
And usually they'll
reason was
paint
there?
you a picture.
Yep.
It's like dating. Like, so my wife should have never dated me. Look at me. My wife is gorgeous. Why she is with me is beyond. But I did one thing better than probably most of the guys. I asked her questions and I shut up and I just let her talk. And then she walked me down the path to her heart. And then I knew what she wanted. And I'm like, if I just do these things, I got a really good chance with her. And
Yeah.
that's the same thing in expired. I just have to do it every single day to resell her on mine.
Sounds like you crushed it. All right. So
I did good.
I think people are asking Fizbo. Up, ring, ring, ring. I'm a Fizbo.
Okay, so you're obviously you're a Fizbo, you're on Zillow, so let's kick that off. All right, so ring ring, you answer.
Yep. Hello.
Hey, yeah, I was calling about the property at 1234 anywhere lane. I saw it here on Zillow. Is it still for sale? That already sold? Am I too late?
No, not too late.
Okay, it's not too late. So let me ask you, is there a better website than Zillow where I can find more details? Because it's kind of lacking here.
I put all the pictures, all the information should be there. If you've got a buyer, I'm paying 1%.
Totally, I understand that. So let me ask, I want to ask basic questions now. We're in the Houston market. I'm throwing that premise out there. So I just want to ask you some basic questions because I don't want to waste your time. I want to get real with this. So how is the foundation, the AC, the roof, and did it flood in Harvey?
That's a great question. Nope, it didn't flood. I probably should have wrote that up. AC's fine, roof is fine. Backyard needs a little bit of landscaping, everything else.
Okay.
Pretty okay.
So I'm seeing here, you've been on the market with Zillow for about 48 days and it hasn't sold. Can I ask you, like, what's going on? Why is it sitting for longer than most do?
I don't know. I think that you agents honestly have collectively just decided not to show my house because I'm paying 1% maybe.
So can I kind of be honest with you and maybe break your heart and tell you the truth about some things?
Sure. I only got a minute. So
okay, I'm going to be real quick with this. You know how the internet works, right? You're on Facebook. Okay. So if you are on a free site like Facebook or Zillow and it's free to you, do you know what that means?
No.
I'll go ahead and answer. It means you're the product. So you are what is being sold. Can I tell you how you're being sold right now?
Sure.
All right, so here's the way it's going. It was free to you to put your pictures, put it on there, be the for sale by owner, all that. Bet you feels amazing. Here's the deal. I'm looking at your listing right now, and they said you had 530 views, and right now you have 43 saves. Saves means that people gave their name, number, and email address to Zillow. Did 43 people get hand delivered to you from Zillow?
No.
No, not even close. I'll tell you why. Zillow is pretty much ran by real estate agents. The real estate agents in your area paid Zillow $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month to get all the leads off your property because you're the product and you're what's getting sold. And those agents, I hate to tell you, they're not going to bring the buyer to your property. They're going to put them in their pocket. They're going to make them their client. They're going to show them properties on the MLS that are paying a 3% commission mostly. And you're going to be stuck out like Chuck. What I would love to do, if I could show you how to beat Zillow at their game, if I could show you how to sell the property for more money in a shorter amount of time and get these 43 buyers that are out there waiting on you, would you be interested in hearing how we could make that happen for you?
Ozzie, I love you. Come on over.
Let's go. Today at 5:30
right, so wait.
or tomorrow
so
at 6:30.
If you can, because we only got a few more minutes here left. I was like, somebody tell me in the chat, what was it that you noticed in all three of those scripts? And I'll give you the first one. One, he made the freaking call, right? Like he had no idea I was about to do this. In fact, Carlos didn't know. I just jumped in and said, hey, we're going to do this shit live. So tell me what you heard. What was the universal thing that happened in those calls? Can I break your heart? Oh, you got the script. Just you got the video. It'll be replayed. I mean, everybody just loved it. But let me tell you what I saw in it. One, it's tough to get past that little piece, right? That little piece of like, I'm just gonna get in there. Hey, I'm sorry, I haven't reached out to you in a long time. Blah blah. But after that, you get to the value, right? You found a way to get to that. By the way, you're freaking Zillow, you're the fucking product and shit like that. I will be re-listening to this and writing that shit down. That was hot.
I'm dropping the plug. I have a YouTube channel called Agents Empowering Agents, where it's all free content. I just give it away, and that full Zillow script broken down. It breaks down how Zillow operates. It breaks down everything and how to have the conversation. It is absolutely free to everyone. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. There's no package. Maybe one day I will bring a package and sell you some. Right now, it's just I love abundance. I want all of you to win. Take that, put it to work, because you're going to need that crap, because this market's shifting. I know you can feel it.
Hey guys, listen, I hate to stop this. Like, this is, Carlos, if you want to jump in here in a second, like, I hate to stop Ozzie, because I will tell you, like, I love him to death. My wife and I had the pleasure of meeting him. I was like, this kid's special. And it was actually funny because my wife was actually doing a women's talk. And so a bunch of guys were like, yeah, let's go have breakfast together. And we were kind of intentional, like, let's just connect and have a community. And if you don't know this, Ozzie, Michael Collier actually videotaped our kind of like men's impromptu kind of conversation. And you should really reach out to him in the video. We were just talking about you this morning.
I gotta find this thing.
Yeah. He was telling you were telling your story from, like, why you made the decision to make. Again, another person who decided, you know what? No mas. I'm going to make a decision for myself, for my family, to be more. And that decision has spurred everything that you see today. That's what we're hoping, that you got the message today. I hope that you're ready to make the past due decision to build your empire and the legacy that God intended for you. I hope that you realize that the Alliance Group is the Global Alliance is the place for growth, action, and productivity. What we do here is pretty special. And I hope to see you guys at future events. I know Carlos is going to be mentioning a couple of things that are coming up, but I'll stop talking, Carlos. It's your show.
No, listen, I was blown away by the massive value by that role play. That was absolutely amazing. And, the audience loved it. So absolutely best value we could have extracted out of Ozzie. I'm going to be releasing into this as well, because he crushed it at all levels. So super pumped. Guys, this call is every Monday. Make sure you have it in your calendar. You don't want to miss this stuff, okay? Secondly, I want to congratulate everybody that had their cameras on, because you guys are ballers. You set the time, you focus, and you were like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to make sure I don't have a brown bag on my face. Next week, if you didn't have your camera on, come ready, okay? We want your camera on. We want you fully present. I want to see you where you're at, what you're doing. So make sure you do that. And thank you to Ben. Thank you to Ozzie. I mean, we need to bring Ozzie back. There's people that want to know how he did the investment properties and all that. So we got to have an encore and find out how he's getting so many flips going and so many investment properties. So we'll do that. And just make sure you stay plugged in, guys. We have amazing value coming to you every single week, and you don't want to miss it. Stay plugged in the Global Alliance Facebook group, the Global Alliance mobile app, and make sure you're connected to your, sponsor, to your group, to your team, so that you never miss these opportunities. That's all I got. It's 1 o'clock. So I think Easy has the music. So Easy, let's get some music cranking, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.
Until next Monday, looking forward to it. As always, growth action.